Hello and welcome back to the Keye Team Sommelier Corner. My name's David Horn with the Keye Team, here to tell you all about Madeira this month. If you are familiar with me and been reading my articles for the last few years or watching these videos, you know that I love Halloween and I love dessert wines. So with Halloween this month, I wanted to make sure to talk about a dessert wine. One thing to mention with Madeira is it actually has a range of styles ranging from dry to sweet. So your Cercial it's a drier side and can be used as an aperitif. But today we're talking about a Malmsey, which is the sweetest of the 5 grapes that they use to make Madeira. This one's actually aged for 5 years as well and made by Blandy's. Blandy's is one of the original producers of Madeira. They started in 1811 and they're still doing it today. So they're one of the only ones that are still doing it since they started. So 7 generations later, they're still making Madeira year in, year out, and it's absolutely delicious. Let's talk a little bit about Madeira, and then I'll go through some tastings with you. As far as how it was discovered, Madeira is actually a small island in the Atlantic, and it was used as an outpost for people that were sailing to Africa or America, and so it became a very vital part of infrastructure for people going across the ocean. Now, what happened was they actually were adding brandy to wine in order to fortify it and preserve it so that it could make that trip. But what turned out was, the swaying on the boat and the heat cooked the wine a little bit and turned it into Madeira as you know it. So it's a really cool process, and it's a very cool story how it just kind of accidentally happened, as many great things do. Let's dive into it a little bit and talk a little about this one. Once again, this is the Malmsey from Blandy's. It is a 5-year age, so it's got a little bit more oomph to it, if you will. Madeira is actually, because of the way it's made, it will last pretty much forever because it's essentially a liquor. So, Madeiras from the 1800s are still drinking fabulously now, if you can find one, of course. With that being said, that means, this one all of them really have a higher acid even when they're sweet. So this has unctuous, palate coating sweetness, but it also has a bit of acid that makes me salivate while I'm taking a sip. So let's dive into this real quick. Ooh, on the nose, it's just caramel and toffee all day. It just punches you in the face. You definitely get some almonds and hazelnuts in there as well. I get candied orange zest or orange peel, as well as some fig and dates, yeah. And then also cinnamon and nutmeg and vanilla, showing, is aged in oak. And so those characters are come from the oak, but you also get the oxidized character of that dried candied fig and date. So both of those come into play, especially with the 5-year aging in oak barrels. On the palate, that is good. It's funny because it's like so sweet on the palate. It's just caramel and toffee. Get that almonds, and definitely more almonds than hazelnuts, but almost like definitely toasted almonds. Maybe a touch of chocolate on there as well. And then the acid just makes me salivate and want to take another sip. That and how delicious it is. Anyway, some pairing notes, and there's more in the article, so feel free to read through that. I encourage it. There's a beautiful home paired with it from the Enclave. The pictures I took were right when all the yellows were super bright, and it's kind of tucked in the aspen, so it's a really cool house to take a look at. But anyway, to the pairings with this, if we're keeping Halloween in mind, yeah, grab a piece of candy. Butterscotch candy, believe it or not, could be fantastic with this. But if we're thinking forward to, say, Thanksgiving or even Christmas holidays, pecan pie would be amazing with this. But don't forget pumpkin pie, a classic, my favorite pie, with a little whipped cream on top. Could be another wonderful pairing for you. And of course, you could always have the Cercial version I mentioned earlier as an aperitif, and then later on have a Malmsey sweeter Madeira to pair with your desserts and make it a night of Madeira. Either way, I hope you had a good time talking about this with me. Let's stay in touch, and if you have any questions, reach out.